welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, my predictions, what I think's going to happen. Hey, we even talk about fashion on this show from time to time because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. Well, what can I say about this week? You see, I actually have like a little bit of a smile on my face. There's a frown too, but there's also a very big smile. And we're going to get into why I'm smiling. This week, overall, pretty good. A little corny here and there, but overall, I'm going to give it out of 10 a solid 7.5. And that's good because, quite frankly, for weeks and weeks, it has been so lackluster that I don't even know if it hit the number 5. But I'm going to give it that solid 7.5, maybe even an 8, but I don't want to push it. Okay, before we get into all things Y&R, a couple of disclaimers. If you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this may not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to not mention something in particular, it could be because I plumb forgot, or it really just wasn't newsworthy, so I didn't bother mentioning it. Is what it is. Nature of the beast, that's what I like to call it. And if you do like this type of content, you do like what you hear, you like what you see, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe button down below. And also don't forget the bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. Okay, let's get into it. All right, beginning of the week, we saw Phyllis, and we're just going to breeze through Phyllis for a hot second here. Phyllis had met up with Billy, and it was kind of just the ending part of the whole Christmas New Year's type season. And of course, Phyllis is she's trying to give it the good old, what can I say? Rah, rah, sis, boom, bah, in order to try and get her hooks into, I'm going to say, Jabot / Marchetti kind of thing. She wants to help Billy and Jack. But really, we all know that Phyllis is trying to help Phyllis in whichever way is going to work out in her favor. Because Kane has pretty much dismissed her, even though they, kissed. Victor, he's dusted her. So really all she has left is Billy and Jack. And quite frankly, Billy, he doesn't trust her, rightfully so. And Jack, well, he don't trust her either. I mean, Phyllis even went over to Jack's place and, kind of busted through the door type thing, in order to, I guess, hey, why should you pick me to want to work with kind of thing in order to help your cause, where Jabot's concerned? Jack was basically said, thanks, but no thanks. Be gone with you. He can't trust her. And I get it. Again, Phyllis, my girl, but you really can't be trusted. And you are still holding true to this lie that you didn't steal the AI program in the first place. Why Victor has it. I mean, one, you're sitting back getting all upset because people are considering you a super hacker and you feel like that's the only thing you're known for. Well, that's all you do. At least when she was running the Grand Phoenix, she was a little bit more chill. She had her moments of craziness, but overall, she was definitely more chill. Now that she basically is jobless, she's running crazy like a headless chicken. Like, Phyllis, get it together. Start telling the truth, and maybe, just maybe, things may start working in your favor. But nobody can trust you. So that's Phyllis. Anyway, let me side note this. I forgot to mention it last week. However, and I'm pretty sure I didn't, but anyway, as it pertains to Billy is on self-destruct mode. Okay, follow me here. This was after, I think after, all kinds of crud hit the fan last week, um, concerning Jabot. And of course, Billy's hothead, he's all over the map, very scatterbrained. Okay, so at one point last week, he was sitting there, I believe it was at the club, and if you paid attention, he was sitting at the bar, and there was a bottle of rum, I want to say, that they kind of highlighted. So he's sitting, and here's the bar, and he's sitting there looking at the bar, and then there's this bottle like right here, and I said, here we go again. They're gonna do another. He's off the wagon. He's like drinking again, drinking his sorrows again. So just watch and see. This is my prediction, because Sally is already afraid that he's gonna go off the rails. Now this week, the way he was talking, because Jack and Billy had run into Victor. I guess they were sitting at society. Victor had walked in, gave his little jab jab at Jack, Jack jab jab back. And it was this back and forth kind of, what, your company is swirling down the drain. And yeah, so of course Billy's trying to, puff up his chest, and he wants to kind of, I guess, get in the mix, if you will. And Victor's like, yeah, you're pretty much useless. He even said it. He's the useless brother. So yeah, based on that conversation, by the time Jack had gone home, Billy had come with. Jack basically looked at Billy like, something's going on here. Like, you need to tone this back. I'm very much afraid for you. Like, forget Victor, I can handle him. But Billy, something seems awry. So you see, this is my prediction. He's going to go off the rails, and he's going to be drinking again. And in my head, he's going to lose Sally. Why? Okay, wait for it. So if you watch this week, there was that whole New Year's Eve, New Year's Day episode. So go figure, Adam and Sally are at society, whooping it up, if you will. They're having their little conversation, they're trying to play nice. And yeah, even at some point, I think it was Sally had reminisced back, whatever, New Year's Eve prior, and that basically Adam and her celebrated together. This is when they were a couple. So she snapped out of it, but then Adam is still there talking. So this isn't what I'm saying, is that this is going to be very easy to segue back for Adam and Sally to get back together. Again, if you follow, Chelsea is none too happy with Adam and this whole Newman, what is it? Newman Media. So she's none too happy with him, and she even said to him last time, I'm out if this is what's going to happen, because you keep doing Daddy-O's bidding, and I don't like where this is going. Meanwhile, Billy is losing it yet again. So it would be very easy for it to be the switcheroo again, for Adam to get back with Sally and Chelsea to get back with Billy. Like, just go right back to the way things were. Now, do I like Adam and Chelsea together? Meh. I said this week to myself that Adam is pretty much in like some supporting actor role. He's just kind of dabbling in, just almost like joined at the hip with Victor, but he's not really serving much of a purpose. He's every minute is like, should I step in, Dad? Should I help Nick? And that's it. And then he puts in his little 2 cents, and that's it. So I don't know. I just feel like somehow, as the powers that be, Adam and Sally will end up back together. Did I like Adam with Sally better? Yes. I think Chelsea really just was the whole rebound thing. You know, this little, they're living together under one roof for Connor. Meh. It's it's fading fast as far as I'm concerned, but whatever. It's not like we see Connor anyway. We just hear he's okay, but that's about it. Anyway, moving right along. All right, I want to get to some juicy stuff. I should have put on the purple robe for this because I'm telling you it was juicy. Okay, so the New Year's Eve episode, we saw some people doing a couple of things, you know. It was one of those. Okay, so who should we talk about first? I'm going to say Kane. Okay, so Lilly had come into little Kane's quarters or whatever, his little office. I don't know. I'm assuming it was the train. I have no idea. So they were having a conversation where I don't even know if it was quite the conversation because Lilly was just bashing him. Boom, boom, boom. And she's like, you know, you're not going to continue to make me feel stupid. And, you know, you keep doing this. And just when I think that I could, you know, want something with you. Oh, I mean, Damien's out of the picture. Didn't I say this? Okay. So now who's left? Kane, right? So she's like, you're not going to make me feel like this because this is the way you always make me feel. And I'm not going to be stupid. Like, you know what? There you were with Phyllis and you were kissing her. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. All right. So he eventually says, you know what? I ain't got nothing to do with Phyllis. And whatever you saw is that she kissed me. And that was like a tenth of a second. I'm thinking, well, it was a little bit longer than a tenth of a second, but who's counting? And then he's like, you know what? Phyllis is basically an idiot. He didn't say that word, but he basically said she's an idiot. And that, you know what? There could never be anything between him and Phyllis. Although there was. But it was just he was using her. And she was clearly using him. But unfortunately, Phyllis has, you know, the hots for Kane. And she can't get him. So, of course, Lily's standing there like, maybe the two of you belong together. You know what? And he's like, look. He's like, Phyllis, what did he say? Phyllis would laugh right now at this because this is what she would want. And then he's like, look, I love the way you sigh at me when you upset at me. And I love this about you. And you could just see Lily's little Grinch heart starting to melt. And it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes, melting, it equals bigger if you're the Grinch. So yes, Lilly is starting to, you know, like, oh my goodness. Like, she didn't say nothing, but she was just falling for every word he said. And I didn't blame her one bit. That was like egg in your face, Lilly. Because this dude has been talking about how much he loves you, how much he wants you, how much he knows that he's made a mistake and he would give everything up for you. But you keep boom, boom, boom at every pass. And then he's just getting frustrated. You know, lesson learned, I guess. But yeah, he basically said to her, if you only knew that there's only one woman for me, only one, and that's you. Boy, I mean, if I was Lilly, because I was hanging on every word, I would have probably fainted. Just saying. Because he was a smooth talker. And he just was like, you know, you're all cheesed because you want to be with me. You want me to hold you. You want me. And of course, Lilly, complete mute. She didn't say a word. And then the kicker was when he was came up to her, close to her, and you could feel that tension. And the next thing he knows, he's like, "Let me love you." Hello, Kane. Holy jeez. One of the best lines ever. Just saying. And he kissed her, and she was a thing of like pudding, and that was the end of that. So we don't know where that's gonna go. Hopefully, she doesn't push him aside. Like, what are you doing? Because you can't put that past Lilly. She easily would do something silly like that. I'm just saying, a guy fawning over me like that? Oh yeah. Yes, I wish it was Daniel Goddard, but at this point, let me erase seeing it and just give him a chance and be like, okay, because quite frankly, that was pretty believable. Just saying. And on the other hand, on New Year's Eve, who else got together? Oh, it was so purple robe worthy. Daniel and Tessa. Oh man, I was like, it is about time. Whew. Because you know that he liked her and you know she liked him. So, yes, Tessa was saying her woes to Daniel at the coffee house about how she's basically lost Mariah and Mariah doesn't want to keep in contact with her. I think Mariah sent a gift for Aria for Christmas, but that was about it. But she wants no contact with Tessa whatsoever. So Tessa's like, I can't keep doing this. I've pretty much lost my wife and I'm hurting and I just basically want to be loved. I just want to be cared for, and Daniel just nicely slipped in there. Didn't he ever? And the two of them just at the coffee house. I said, "Okay. Okay." Well, then next thing you know, they took it over to Daniel's house. Lucy was somewhere I think at a friend's house, and they just went to town. The music was going. I was like, yes, Daniel and Tessa, it is about time. And by the end of it, she said, oh, it must be the new year. She's like, I don't regret none of this. He didn't regret it either. And yeah, they just had their moment. And I said, well, good for you. It even followed to the next day where he was at the coffee house again and he was listening to some indie music. She came in, he let her listen on his little earbud. And then she's like, can we go somewhere a little bit more private? So then they go out on the patio and he's just automatically assuming that she is living in regret and she wants to talk about the situation, what happened, and that, you know what, let's be done with it. It happened. It was a mistake type thing. And she's like, Daniel, basically, shut up, because that's not what it is. I wanted to be somewhere a little bit more private with you because, and then she kissed him. She's like, I've been wanting to do that ever since I left your bed. I said, okay, Tessa, okay. See that? And he was like, oh, okay. So yeah, they're not having to put a label on it, but she is all up in it. She is all for it. Like, I'm like, okay. And so much so she says, look, I've already spoken to a lawyer and I've drafted up divorce papers, and she wants out of that marriage because Mariah, who is a day late, a dollar short, mind you, she don't want nothing to do with her. Okay, let's just fast forward to Mariah, shall we? Because I am just going to breeze through Mariah real quick because I had to fast forward. Not that I didn't watch it. I just was like, when I was rewatching things, I'm like, oh no. Even my daughter was like, skip it, skip it, skip it. Huh. Okay, very quickly. Mariah, again, day late, dollar short. She's sitting there pining over Tessa and Aria and how she is just this bad person and what have you. Who's there with her? It would be Ian Ward. Why is he still on the show? Like, this is ridiculous. I saw somewhere, I think this past week, where the viewers are so over this storyline. I know I am. I even forgot about her because they put her on for a hot moment and then they take her off. And then I don't know, a good month later then she shows up. Like, can we just end this? Oh, so yeah, within the time of the episode with her and Ian, he basically has this picture he shows of them as a family, like Tessa, Arya, and Mariah, and he's like, "It's time, Mariah. It's time. You must let them go." So she's like, "I know it's time. I know it's time." Oh man, I just cracked up when she grabs the picture and she's about to rip it in half, and she's like, "Ooh," and then lets out this. Ah! I'm like, oh, must we endure this just torture, agony? I just said, oh, forget it. I just can't be bothered. I'm over it. I don't even want to discuss it anymore. So I just hope that Tessa gets that divorce from her and just moves off with Daniel, because I want to see how their romance goes. Those two I am rooting for. They look good together. I like their chemistry. Thank you. Let's just move on with that. Okay. We briefly saw Kyle with Victoria. I mean, Kyle, get over it. But then I thought to myself, wouldn't that be funny? Because he's cozying up to Victoria. Wouldn't it be funny? Kind of gross. But wouldn't it be funny if Kyle and Victoria hit it off somehow? Because he keeps going up to Victoria asking for help. And she's willing to help him as much as she can. I mean, I know her and Nate are having their little whatever it is that they're having. But wouldn't it be something? And then poor little Claire see her ex with her mommy. Again, you got to put it into context. Technically, if we recall, he's old enough. So I can't say that he's really that much. I guess he is younger than Victoria, but by how much? I don't think it's that drastic. So, because if you recall, this is when they first had grown up Kyle, and then he was involved with Summer at the time, because Summer was like a little lovesick puppy. He was quite a bit older than Summer, so it's only based on his looks now that would make him not be as old as Victoria. So I could totally see them doing something like that. I really could. So who knows if they did that. Again, poor little Claire. Now that Kyle has dumped her and said, you know what, I must save myself from trying to waste my time looking for this girl and trying to get her back. I am done. Done, done, done. So that would be a nice stick it to you, because Claire is right under my skin. Miss 20,000 questions. Like, I mean, she's there questioning Holden again. And he is an idiot, and he's just going to tell the whole tale. Oh, you know what? They deserve one another. I told you, I said it last week. I used the word trippity. He's going to get her into some trippity mess. I don't even know what that word is, but he's going to get her into a mess, and she won't be able to get herself out of it. Bye-bye, Claire. Adios, muchacho. Get out of Dodge. Don't need you. Because all you are is trying to get back at Audra, and Audra's trying to get back at you. And what is this going to do for you? Just move on. But yet you're still whining over the fact that Kyle dumped you, because you're like, well, it just seems so final. Well, what did you expect? What did you expect, Claire? Man, I don't know. Anyway, moving right along. I'm going to say the last thing that I want to talk about is this whole Noah and Sienna and Matt and Crooked Cop Annie and okay. All right, so let's see. because so much happened, but so much so that they had a whole show dedicated to the end of the week was dedicated to these guys. Oh my word. Okay, so we had seen that Sienna was still under the drugs. She was laid out. It got to the point where Matt took a little video of her. You know, she's like strung out. Meh. Well, obviously that fentanyl wasn't that strong because she didn't seem like she was doped up. She just seemed like you were waking her up from a nap. But whatever. So yeah, he took that video in order to send it to, I guess it was Nicholas. I think it was Nicholas. Whoever. Point is that we had Victor, Nick, and Adam hot on the case to take Matt down. Which this week he finally admits, I'm Matt Clark. Your worst nightmare. Whatever they're saying about me, it's correct. You know, you don't want this thunder, but okay, Sienna, this is what you got. So, I don't even know how best to explain this, but okay. So, the whole point is at some point in time, Matt had gone to the park with Nick. They end up at some point with pseudo fisticuffs, if you will. So much so that Matt almost goes over top this railing, which apparently is very high up. I'm like, really? Okay. So he's taunting Nick back and forth about, oh, that would be great. And then you won't know where Sienna is. Ha ha ha. He just went on and on. Nick offered him $1 million to basically hand over Sienna and get the hell out of town. And he's like, really? What? $1 million? No, you could do better than that. So I think it went upwards of $5 million. And then he's like, what do you want with Sienna anyway? Like, what? So he's like, well, my son likes her. He apparently loves her. Oh, yeah, of course. Why would you say that, Nick? First of all, Matt already knows this information. But whatever. So again, Nick and Victor have devised some sort of plan. They've got security. Does anybody work at the GCPD? Like, what? Okay, so fast forward, because Adam wants to help, but Victor's like, no, I think your brother Nick is the one that needs to handle this. But you know what I mean? Like, I'll just put in whatever calls I can, whatever, but let's just lay low. So, Matt and crooked cop Annie, they basically are laying watch over Sienna. So Sienna had woken up at some point in time. She had that conversation with Matt where one minute she's like, you're a good guy. And then, you're evil. You're horrible. You know, like, everything he said, like, you're a monster, you know. That just went back and forth. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. So eventually, because she's handcuffed to the bed, so eventually he's like, I'm taking the handcuffs off. This is when crooked cop Annie comes in. And he's like, you're free to go. So she thinks she's going to just get out. Well, Annie ends up, hey, where you think you're going? She pulls out a gun. And she's like, what are you doing? He said I could go. She's not so fast. Annie had brought up some sort of getaway car. And then they go outside. It was probably the studio parking lot. Oh my gosh. I was like, what? So they go outside. Matt says to Sienna, one last kiss for old time's sake. He goes to kiss her. Apparently she scraped him on the lip or bit him on the lip. I don't know. Drew some blood. He says to her, you drew first blood, I'm going to draw the last. And he starts to choke her. I mean, honestly, she's like... Meanwhile, half a step back, you have Noah is like losing. He's frantic. Like, what's going on with Sienna? Where's Sienna? Sienna, I love her. Oh my goodness. Child, just give it a rest. Enough already. Anyway, so back to Sienna and Annie and Matt in the probably studio parking lot. They're getting ready to push her into the car, the getaway car, and then rolls up is Nick and Sharon and whatever security. Drop your weapons. And Matt's like, this must be a mistake. Sienna runs off because Noah's there at this point. Runs into Noah's arms and they have their little reunion. And basically Nick's like, yeah, you ain't going to jail that easy. He brings him over to Daddy-O's place where Nick's holding some weird contraption of zip ties. I was like, what is that? I've never seen zip ties like that in my life. Weird. So then Victor comes out, you know, tough guy, Victor, and Adam, you know. And of course, Victor's like, you punk. At some point in time, oh, my favorite part. Here comes Matt, and Victor's here, and Matt comes rolling up to Victor. And then Victor's like, you coming at me? Boom, right in the stomach. I was like, oh. And then Victor holds him by the shoulders, like he's giving him like a chokehold. And I'm thinking, his hands aren't even choking this guy. It's just resting like this. I was like, oh. And Matt's like, like this. Oh, boy. So apparently Nick hog ties him up. I'm like, what? He puts him in the car, like if it's a cop car. I don't know which car he's using, but he's taking Matt somewhere. Where that is, I don't know. Throwing him down a river, I couldn't tell you. Well, it ends where Matt is talking up a storm, and he somehow gets out of his little hogtie position, and then he wraps his hands, his arms, around Nick's throat while he's driving, and this is pretty much how it ends, where I don't know if they end up in a crash or whatever. Who knows? The point is that this guy is like a cat. He has 9 lives. He's not dying. Again, I don't even know why they brought this character back into the show. They could have done so much more with Roger Horvath, his character, or not just him as an artist, as an actor. They could have done so much more with him, give him a better character, rather than something from the past. Like, this to me was so mediocre for him. He was great as Todd Manning. That's how I knew him. So, like, why did we do this? So terrible. But anyway, Noah and Sienna are back together. You know, she's like, I owe you my life. Sharon, Noah, I just heard your voice the whole time. No, you didn't. You were asleep on the bed. You didn't hear nothing. But whatever. So they're like in their little, you know, glee, la la la. Sharon's making, I don't know if it was sandwiches or some cut up fruit for them, looking all crazy herself. So whatever. Yeah, we don't know where this is going to go. What happened to Annie at this point? What happened to Burrow? Where did he go? Does anybody know? Whatever. So I'm going to say, yeah, that was pretty much the highlight. Yeah, we did see Audra a little bit. Word on the street, she's pregnant in real life, which would make sense because if you looked at her in that blue outfit, she looked a little fluffy. And then when you saw the whole thing where she was back in LA, you know, the black and white flashback, she looked a lot smaller. So yes, word on the street that she's pregnant. I have not figured it out for real, but I'm pretty sure it is true. Yeah, she was doing the whole bag in front of her, coat in front of her. She just looked a little bit wider. And if she is, well, congratulations to her. And again, congratulations to Crystal Khalil with her pregnancy. So it's one of those things. So we did see Audra. poor thing. I wish her well, you know. I wish she would stop this whole Claire story because, quite frankly, Claire isn't worth it. But that's just my opinion. We did see Nikki very briefly. We did see Michael very briefly. And this all has to do with Victor. So all you can say is everybody is trying to undercut Victor, but will Victor come out victorious? I don't think so. I really don't think so. My prediction is that he's gonna fall flat and don't know what's coming to him because Michael is just going to do whatever possible to sideswipe all of this mess, and so that Victor doesn't end up going to jail. But whatever, if he goes, it wouldn't be the first time. So there you have it, folks. If you stuck around to the end of this video, you know I'm so grateful. You know I appreciate your time. You know I love you lots. It means the world to me. And again, if you do like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe, and also the bell notification, and also share. Why? Because sharing is caring. At least I like to think so. So we're going to see what happens this week. Should be hopefully a fun-filled week. I'm really hoping for the best once again. Again, solid 7.5 this week, and that has been way leaps and bounds in comparison to what it has been over the last number of weeks. So you guys take care, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.